There was a man 1,000 and 1,400 years ago, a man who has become now a legacy, Hussain.
Hussain was a man of humanity, a man who looked at people with such kindness, with such warmth.
The example of Hussain is a very clear example of a man who had the right thing to do and the easy thing to do. But he chose to do the right thing.
Hussain stood up for truthfulness. He was a leader who sacrificed his life for truthfulness and honesty.
Hussain taught millions of people after him that there's only one choice: life with honor.
The reason the global event who are commemorating the 40th day of martyrdom of Imam Hussain, who was the grandson of Holy Prophet, all right? And 1400 years ago, he was brutally killed by a tyrant oppressor called Yazid with his forces like 124. We have different traditions of other sort of traditions where it says 30,000 army, some say 72,000, some say 70,000. There were like 72 companions along with, who stood along with Imam Hussain, in which I would just tell you the youngest, the infant was 6-month-old son whose name was Ali Asgar, and he was killed as well.
If you don't want to be Muslims, you don't have to be Muslims, at least be free men. And that is the message that we want to echo here. We want to stand up for those people who are now oppressed, because that's what Imam Hussain fought for. He fought against oppression, and we want to stand up for people and equality for everyone around the world. We want to make sure that his sacrifice does not go in vain, and his message is heard by everyone in the world, religious, non-religious, Muslim, non-Muslims, because his message is one for the human.
Like to bow his head in front of tyrant oppressor who is so-called Muslim, all right? If you compare that time and now, you see the clear picture who are true Muslims and who are so-called Muslims, all right? And for that reason, we are here to show to people that we still support the good cause which Imam Hussain stood for in Karbala and who got brutally killed by a tyrant oppressor.
My message to both the followers and non-followers of Imam Hussain in general is to open your minds, read, educate yourself about different religion, educate yourself about what's going on in the world, and try to understand what has been mentioned to us by the great people before us, like Imam Hussain.
Hussain sacrificed his life for humanity and freedom of speech. He stood against injustice and inequality, and he sacrificed his life for that while others were silent.
Martyred on the day of Ashura, located in Karbala in center of Iraq. 40 days later than that, people started marching from this different part of the world, not just Iraq, from everywhere, the closest countries around it. They started marching towards the grave of Hussain, of Imam Hussain. Usually it was a tradition back in the days that on the 40th day after the martyrdom, people used to gather around the grave or gather around the family of the person who passed away or been murdered. They used to gather up and show their love and compassion to them. That's the reason why we are marching. Unfortunately, we cannot march all the way to Karbala, but we would like to march from one point to another just to show our compassion and love for that family, for the family of Prophet Muhammad. What's happening here and what's the story here?
My first question was, why is everybody in black? I was a little bit worried about that. I thought, why are there black flags? And I've seen these on television. I thought, I wonder, now I'm going to ask. So I came and you've told me it's about mourning and about Hussain. So a very interesting, compassionate man. Good story.
The whole story in 600 AD of Hussain, the grandson of Muhammad, what he brought to his people and the sacrifices he made, it's great that you guys are honouring him or mourning him. Doing this walk seems like a good idea.
Yeah, it's been great knowing the history of Karbala and what happened at that time, and we are so honoured to actually remember, his passing and still remember the loss. But that loss was actually all valuable for us because now we are all live in peace and harmony, and we know the right path, what's actually in front of us. So it's been really great.
What do you think that the message of Imam Hussain was actually?
Basically, respect one another, give to the poor, help out those in need. Really, just don't go with hatred throughout the world. If there's people who need help, help them out. Give what's necessary to those who need it.
Well, he's a significant figure in Islam. He's the grandson of Muhammad, and he demonstrated his commitment to the freedom and to justice to people by laying down his life, and that of his son, I think, for the freedom of his followers. He was vastly outnumbered. So it's a story I don't know well enough. I know a little bit of it, but I was very pleased to see this tent, somebody I could talk to like you, and to ask questions and get very good, decent answers. So thank you.
Do you think that this is a good purpose for the work that we did, a foot march, and whether it was an organized event.
Yeah, having a look around, there's kids here, there's younger generations, and it's good that you're passing on, you know, your heritage, your beliefs, everything onto the next level, and they can, when they, you know, grow up, they can continue on and continue to walk, and yeah, I think it's good.
It's important for Australians of Anglo-Christian background to be able to talk and to understand better what your faith is and how it works and what are the significant dates, and I think that breaks down barriers. So it's really important.
Do you have a message for followers or non-followers of Imam Hussain?
Yeah, to the public and everything, you know, people look often a bit negatively on it, but walking around, seeing what you guys are about, no, it's definitely changed my mind. It's good to see I've seen some people change their minds about it. It's good to see what you guys are doing, and actually once you stop and learn what you guys are actually preaching, it's quite good. It changes a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know, we're just visiting Adelaide, and we have lived in Melbourne for the last 20 years, but for some reason, being local, you know, you don't go out in the streets and see things like that. While we were in Adelaide, you know, you guys are here, and we saw this, we stopped, and yeah, so we've learned something. So what's Who is Hussain campaign is all about and what's going on. So when we go back to Melbourne, we'll definitely find more about it.
I think the event went really good. We had a lot of people came in, a lot of people asked for the flyers, asked for what we're doing. We had actually speakers actually mention what the march is about, and we could see that a lot of new faces this year because we've been doing this every year. I think the event went really good. We hope that we could extend it every single year, have more people participating in this event, and hopefully we can pass on a great message to everybody else, especially to the humanity people that are looking to be free from all oppressors.
His call is that all mankind, I have not set out because I want fame. I have not set out because of arrogance or because of exuberance. Rather, I've set out to reform this society. Forbearance, altruism, justice, all must return as the mainstay of the life of the human being. Hussain said those words, Gandhi was affected. Hussain said those words, Charles Dickens was affected. That Hussain is the embodiment of patience. That Hussain is the embodiment of dignity. That Hussain is the embodiment of bravery. That Hussain is the embodiment of valor. Today ask yourself, how can you put Hussain in your life? All of you can take Hussain as your role model in life. All of you can become Hussain in this world today. Try and take the stand of Hussain into your life and allow that stand to remain part of the life of every human being forever.